So I've seen quite a few people doing like their favorites, their mid-year favorites, and I thought, wow, I think I have a lot of favorites that I can share with people too. So this is just going to be like makeup related favorites. I mean, I do have like favorite candles and lotions and fragrances and stuff like that. So if you want to know those things, let me know. Also along with that, I would probably say favorite skincare as well. So I'm just gonna jump right in. I do have some notes. I was sitting in bed yesterday like, what are my favorites? So I am just, there's like a lot of stuff right here. So I'm just gonna go in and show you. And these are things that I have tried this year. So some of these things might be ones that didn't necessarily come out this year, but they're the ones that I have tried. And I did include like December of last year, things that I bought at that time, just because I feel like some of that stuff wasn't delivered until January. So yes, let's go ahead and get started. Primer. Now, my favorite primer has become, or wait, this isn't it. My bad. Hold on. Here it is. They have similar packaging. Look at that. Okay, I mean, this one's obviously bigger, but anyway. The Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer Long Wear Foundation Grip. It says that it preps, smooths, and perfects, and I completely agree. I really, really like this primer. I'm going to take it out of the packaging, but I'm not going to open it because I haven't opened it yet. But here is the packaging. It has a pump, which I really appreciate, and it goes on very smoothly. I do feel like it just kind of smooths everything for my foundation to lay on top. And I noticed the smoothing once I was using a different primer and felt like, wow, my makeup looks a little different, and I had been using the same other products, base products, and I was like, that Urban Decay primer, it is amazing. So I really like that one. Put it back in the drawer. Now, this isn't necessarily a primer, but I do put it on before foundation and sometimes even before concealer, just depending. And that is the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. I have it in the shade 7, and I really like this. I feel like it gives a little shine or a little glow really to my skin, but also brightens it up as well. This is the, people, can you stop? Okay. This is the shade number 7, and I just really like it. For a while, I was using it by putting it under my concealer, or putting this on first and then my concealer on second. And then I stopped using it for a bit just because it wasn't in my line of sight. And now I'm back to using it, and I just really, really, really like it. So there is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. Now, the other thing that I use pretty much every time I do my makeup is the Makeup by Mario Master Eye Prep and Set, and I have it in the shade Deep. So it comes in this white packaging, white compact really. You've got a mirror, and then you've got 2 creams and a powder. So you can see I am like going in on this shade here, and I find that I really just like it. It goes on smoothly. I usually just buff it out with a brush. I don't use the powder as much. I am going to try to, though, be more purposeful in like using the powder, but I really like these creams as eyeshadow primers. Another thing that I sort of use before foundation is the Danessa Myrick's Beauty Oil. Now, this is like a dry oil because initially I am like oily skin. So initially I was like, why am I going to put oil on my face? But I really like it, especially with her, what is it called? Vision cream, because that thing is super thick, super pigmented, and so I find that when I put the beauty oil down first, I feel like the vision cream goes on a bit better. It doesn't look as cakey, and it holds up pretty well. So I'm really liking this oil, and I usually only do like 1 drop. So, getting into the flawless filter, but that's okay. And so that's just it blended out, and then after a while it kind of like dries down. But even just looking at how it sort of helped the flawless filter sort of blend, like, look at that. Like, are you seeing that? Like, that's pretty, okay? Okay. Now on to foundation. If you have watched even like half a second of any of my videos, you will already know what I'm going to say. My favorite is the Nars Soft Matte Foundation. I think I bought this in December with some other foundations that I will talk about. This foundation is amazing. Like, I have not yet found one that bumps it out of like top tier spots. And it is a matte foundation, but it's a soft matte. So when it dries down, you don't feel like it's, you know, taking all of the moisture out of your skin. I really like it. It's long wearing. I'm just a fan. The other one, now this one came out long ago, but I just tried it this year, or actually the end of December is when I bought it, along with the soft matte. And it is the Nars Naturally Radiant Foundation. Like, I'm making dents in it. Like, when do you see that? So this one, initially, again, I was pretty uncertain about whether or not I would like it because it's naturally radiant. But I find that when I wear it, it's not, I don't look greasy. Like, I just look like I have a glow, like I'm radiant. Now, I tend to wear this one on days where I have just like a regular day. If I know I'm gonna have a super long day, super intense day, then I'm gonna wear the soft matte because it just stays on. Because after a while with the radiant one, I do have to powder stuff a little bit just to take out some of the shine. So there is that. Another foundation that I wasn't quite sure that I would like is the Too Faced Born This Way Matte Foundation. I recall trying to figure out if I should get the soft matte from Nars or the matte foundation from Too Faced, and so now I have both. Don't ask questions. Now, I never tried the regular Born This Way foundation. I heard from other people who have oily skin that it didn't really last very well on their skin. And so when I saw that there was a matte version, I was like, okay, there we go. Let me go ahead and get that. Now, I just really like it. I don't like it as much as the Nars Soft Matte just because, like, I'm in love with the Nars Soft Matte. This one, I'm just like, I like you a lot. I like you a lot, but we're not at the love spot just yet. Now, concealer. I will say that I was surprised by this as well. This is the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot Concealer. And it's also a foundation. They're sort of billing it as a foundation and a concealer, but I don't use it as a foundation. I do have a deeper shade that I can use if I want to like spot conceal. But yeah, that's just, I'm not gonna use it as a foundation, pretty much. So I really like this applicator. It's a doe foot applicator, but it has a bit of a slant. So I find that when I want to get like right in here in the inner corner with my concealer, this is perfect. It just lays completely seamlessly on top. I also like the packaging. Like, it's just cute with the frosted glass and a little gold cap, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, there is another concealer that I like, and it is from a brand who does not like to make products for people with darker skin. And that is the one that starts with an H. I'm so upset because I really like this concealer. I really like it. But I'm trying to get through it so that I can be done with the brand. Because they don't care about deeper skin tones. So there's that. I can honestly say that I love my drugstore cream blushes. And those are the ones from Milani. So I have 4 of them. And My favorite, which surprised me, is the shade Nude Kiss. Now, this has gotten beat up. Like, this broke off. You can see there's so much pan there. Like, I have been using the mess out of this. Here is the shade Nude Kiss. And when I was purchasing it, I was pretty, like, skeptical about the name. Because I was like, there's, like, nude for whom? But I really like this, and I can really appreciate that different skin tones can use it. For me, it gives sort of like a natural kind of flush to my cheeks. It's not something that's super intense, but I really enjoy this so much. Now, you know my bestie. Her name is Pat Mcgrath. Dame to us in the know. She came out with blushes this year. And people have been asking for blushes for a super long time. And so Pat was like, okay, I got you. So the two that I have from Pat Mcgrath are Paradise Venus and Electric Bloom. Now, my favorite of the two is Paradise Venus. So it comes in this packaging. And there is this button you have to hold down in order to open it that I'm glad I'm not the only one that struggles with it, because I've seen other people be like, why can't I open it? So we're in this together. And opens up and you've got your mirror and then you've got your blush. Now, this color, this shade really reminds me of the cream blush from Milani, but just in like powder form, and it's a little different. But I really like this blush. I find that it's sort of like my everyday blush. So it's one that I think is pretty good for going to work or just like going out in general. The Electric Bloom one is one that I would use when I'm like, I want you to see all this blush on my face. I didn't know where to necessarily put this product, but because it has a blush in it, I'm gonna go ahead and include it here. But that is the Kaja Bento Box, and I have this one in the shade 03 Mocha Mellow. So it comes with a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. So I was really intrigued by this because I just love this packaging. It also feels, it's like very travel friendly, and you get 3 products in one. So here is the blush. There it is. And again, it's kind of similar to the Milani and the Milani and the Pat Mcgrath. And, okay. Here is the highlighter. Ooh, my bad. So there is that. It's a very subtle highlighter, so it's not going to do anything if you're looking for the boom pow. But when I'm using this, I'm not looking for the boom pow. And then there is a cream bronzer, which I find really interesting that they have a cream bronzer, but they have a powder blush and powder highlighter. And there is the bronzer. It's like this rich chocolatey shade. So I really like this. It's really cute and compact and comes with 3 products. All right, what else? Since we're kind of like on cheeks, then I'll go ahead and also talk about the highlighters that I purchased this year. So there are 2 highlighters that I purchased this year, and they are actually the only highlighters in my collection. I had a couple of highlighters before, like I had the Milk one and I had one from like NYX, but I wasn't really using highlighters that much. But my homegirl, Pat, Dame, came out with some highlighters. Now, I can't remember if this is a Divine Rose Skin Fetish Ultra Glow highlighter. Can't remember if this was this year or last year, but I know I started using it this year. And I really like the packaging, come on. I really just bought it for that. And when you open it, you've got your compact and your mirror, and then you've got this just really gorgeous highlighter. Like, what is this? What is it? Come on. Oh, it's just so pretty. It's just pretty. it's just pretty. Like, if I want to look pretty, I'm going to put on this highlighter. Now, the other highlighter that I also ended up getting is the, again, Pat McGrath. Where'd it go? Oh. And this is the more recent highlighter, and it's called Golden Nectar, and it comes in this packaging, which is very similar to her blushes. Let's see if I can compare. I actually think they're about the same size. Yeah, the blush and the highlighter are the same size, so same exact packaging. Now this highlighter is different from the Divine Rose one. So there is that highlighter. So what I noticed is that with the Divine Rose highlighter, just like kind of with the Kaja Bento, if you're looking for more of like a subtle highlighter or a highlighter that you can build up, then the Divine Rose one is the one you want to go with. But honey, if you want to just put that highlighter on and they can see it from Mars, then you want to go with the Golden Nectar. Now, continuing on with like the cheek area, this year I really got into Danessa Myrick's products, and the two that I really like are her bronzer and her contour. So this is her Power Bronzer. It comes in this cute little packaging, and it has like DM for Danessa Myrick's across the top, and you open it, you have your little compact mirror, and then you have the bronzer, and this is in the shade Deep, and it is a cream bronzer. I find that with, like, I literally just pressed my finger into this and it's picking up product. I find that with her products, you do not need much at all. So here it is. It's like a really pretty brown that looks really good in terms of like warming up your skin. Now the next thing I have from Danessa Myrick's is her contour, and I have it in two shades, Deep 1 and Deep 2. So the packaging is a little different from the bronzer. And what you do is you push in this sort of tab and you're able to open the product up, and you've got, or the compact up, you've got your mirror, and then you have your contour here. Now I wasn't quite sure what shade I wanted to go with, but I ended up thinking like I can use one for more of a subtle contour and then another one for when I'm just like, let me cut you with like the contours and the like intensity of my like cheeks right now. So Deep 1 is this one here, and Deep 2, there's that, is this one. Okay, now sticking with like the cheek area, two things that I have from, or I guess it's one but in two shades, from Danessa Myrick's are the Duet Balms. So this one is in Hot Water, and this one is in Rose Water. Now these are just balms that you can use on top of your cheeks. You can use like on your lips or on top of a lipstick. Like they're very, you can put it on your eyes. I love that Danessa Myrick's products can be used like in a variety of ways. So let me swatch these for you. Here is Hot Water. And here is Rose Water. So as you can see, they're just like glosses that just give you this wet, dewy look. And that is like Danessa Myrick's thing. She's all into like the dewy, glossy, at least from my perspective. And I really like these. I don't use them as much because I'm still trying to like push myself out of my matte comfort zone. But I really, really enjoy these. All right, so that is like cheek stuff, right? Okay, so how about we go to some powders. Now for my under eyes, I use the Pat McGrath under eye setting powder, and here it is in this packaging. It's really small, and it comes with this tiny mirror that's about the size of a quarter. I don't know what you're gonna do with this. And I have this in two shades. I have the shade Deep. Let me swatch that for you. So there is that. And then I also have the yellow shade, which is the newest shade to the product collection. And there is that. Now they look a little lighter on my hand, but once you kind of tap into that and dust it across your face, it looks really good. Now, eyeliners and such, I have been late to the game with the Marc Jacobs eyeliners, and now I have 2 of them, mainly because Marc Jacobs has been on sale for about 2 decades now. So I have one in black, and the other is in brown. So there's the black, there's the brown. You can see that they are really like strong, pigmented. They're very smooth. They kind of glide on really seamlessly, and I really like them. The other thing that I like is the Marc Jacobs liquid liner. I find that this is so easy to use, and it is just, there it is. Very black, and I like it. For mascara, I have 2 favorites, but I only have one right now since I finished the other one. One of my favorites is the Lash Idole from Lancome. The other one is the It Superhero Mascara. It comes in, it's like a kind of shape. I don't know how to explain it. I really like the brush or the wand on this because I find that it can really hug your lashes very well. And you know, I don't have like tons, I don't have like super long lashes, but I really enjoy this mascara. I feel like it hugs the lashes, it coats my lashes very well. I feel the same way about the It Superhero. I think that for me, the It Superhero one is a bit clumpier, kind of messier, but I really like it either way. Now, a powder that I've really been enjoying this year is the Kosas Cloud Set powder. I have it in the shade Silky and in the shade Velvety. I like the names, they're just super cute. So here is what it looks like in the pan. One thing that I have noticed, and I was watching, I think, Kelly Gooch experience with this powder as well, is that you do get hard pan, but I think it's like really easy to scrape off and keep using. Now these powders are more of like, it's a setting powder, it's very light, there isn't a ton of pigment to the powders, and they are going to do nothing for keeping your oils away. But I still like these powders if I just want to kind of blur things a little bit and set it, and if I'm wanting a bit of radiance to come through, I'll go ahead and use one of these. And if I'm not wanting that, if I'm just wanting my usual like matte, I'm not going to use these because these are not going to really do anything for that. So eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is my jam, okay? That's my thing. I love it. Like, so I have a lot of eyeshadow, and I've decluttered a lot of eyeshadow. But let's not talk about it, okay? I don't want to speak about it. So the shadows, or the, I guess, palettes that I have come to like this year, one is the Nabla Side by Side palette. Here are the colors. I actually think my partner gave me like a gift card to Ulta, and I bought the palette with that gift card. Let me see. I'm like trying to dig my finger in there. So here are 3 of the shades from this palette. Now this palette has a great mix of warm colors, but also some cooler tones, which surprisingly I like, and I'm not typically someone who enjoys cool tones. Here are 2 more shades. The formula is really nice, very easy to blend. The mattes, the shimmers are nice as well, and I'm definitely already getting some dips in some of the pans. Definitely this color here. This is one of my favorites. It's called Magic Moment. And then this deeper brown shade here called Tempera. You know, getting some dips in that. And then even with Body and Soul and Paradiso, those two, I am getting some dips. So I do really like using this palette. I do have to make sure I use some of the more taupey, cooler tones, because I just always gravitate towards warm tones. Now, there's no way I could talk about favorites of 2021 without putting my homegirl Pat up in here. Now, this is her most recent eyeshadow quad. This is the Venus and Fleur Luxe Quad in Voyeuristic Vixen. Here is the quad. I mean, it's so pretty. I think I can swatch like all of the shades. Okay, so here are the shades. Oh, that's a terrible swatch. But here are the shades. And even though it's a quad, look, but it looks even better on my fingers. Like you have to see it in person. Honestly, like the camera doesn't even allow you to see the amazingness that is this Voyeuristic Vixen quad. This is just so pretty. Like, I've done several looks with this palette using all of the different shades. I really like that the matte is there to anchor the palette because the matte goes with all of the other shades very well. Some of her other quads, like, I think a lot of them are just all shimmer. So I'm really glad that she put a matte in here for me, because it does really help to, like, anchor the palette. Now, I really like the Urban Decay Vice lipstick formula, especially their Comfort Matte. But a color that I got this year is the 1993 shade. And I know one of you, Tracy, I think, said that this was like one of her favorites. And let's try a different hand. I don't even know. I have no room. What I like about this is like it's a really nice kind of nude color on me. There it is right there. Now, depending on how I want my lipstick to look, when I use this, I will just change up the liners that I use, lip liners. So if I want a more like brown sort of nude, then I'll use a brown lip liner. If I want more of a mauve-y tone, then I'll use maybe like a deep burgundy-ish kind of lip liner. So you can really manipulate it to look the way you want it to. But these lipsticks stay on all day. For me, that is like a necessity. So I'm always looking for lip products that are not gonna move. The other thing, it's like makeup adjacent. The Lineage Lip Treatment Balm. This just came out a couple of months ago, and I have already finished one container, and I'm on my second one. I really like that it comes with this little spatula or whatever this is, so you can dig the product out and put it on your lips, so you don't have to put your finger in there, especially if you have long nails. And this was is my first Lineage product. And I was so blown away by this lip balm. Like, I love lip balm. I love lip balm. I've been wearing lip balm since I was in kindergarten. I have tons of lip balms in different formulas. I just love lip balm because I love my lips to be moisturized. This is the only lip balm that stays on all night. So I love it. And let me tell you, I have used this nightly for, when did I get this? I got this in maybe April, I think. So it's lasted about 3 good months, and I'm fine with that. Like, I just love it. I really, really love it. My nose has been itching the whole time, and I don't know why. Does that mean something? Am I getting money? Anyway, I think that's it. Hopefully this was helpful for you if you're looking for some products, or if you have some that you're like, girl, you have to try this, let me know. Other than that, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.